The A plus mentality, be the standard, not the exception. Let's talk about something deeper than grades. Let's talk about the A plus mentality, a mindset that goes beyond report cards, GPAs, and applause. It's not about being better than others. It's about being A plus is a mindset, not just a grade redefining what excellence truly means. Let's start with a truth most people miss. An A plus isn't something you only get on paper. It's not ink on a report card. It's not a shiny medal or a moment of applause. An A plus is a mindset, a decision you make every single day to bring your best to the table. And here's the key, you don't need a classroom to live it. We live in a world obsessed with numbers, grades, scores, rankings, likes, followers. But life's real tests don't come with study guides. The moments that shape you won't be on a syllabus. That's where the A plus mindset separates those who survive from those who thrive. 1. Excellence starts from within. Grades are external. They measure performance, but mindset is internal. It determines how you perform, how you react to failure, how you show up when no one is watching. You can get an A plus on a test and still feel empty. You can ace an exam and still flunk life because you didn't build the mindset behind it. The A plus mindset is about self-leadership. It's about bringing effort, attitude, and excellence, not because someone is grading you, but because that's who you are. Anyone can have a good day when things go right. But when things go wrong, that's when your mindset is tested. The A plus mindset doesn't fold. It doesn't make excuses. It adjusts, adapts, and attacks the challenge head on. 2. Strive to be the standard, not the exception. People who carry the A plus mentality don't just follow. They lead. Not with ego, but with consistency. They don't wait to be told what to do. They ask, what more can I do? They raise the bar not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. The A plus mindset says, I don't do average. I don't clock in just to survive. I bring energy, effort, and purpose, because this is who I am. Whether you're a student, an athlete, an employee, or a leader, carry yourself like the standard. Be the one who shows others how it's done. 3. You don't need to be the smartest, just the most committed. Here's a truth nobody tells you in school. The people who win long-term aren't always the smartest. They're the most consistent, the most driven, the most disciplined. You might not have the best talent, the best background, or the highest IQ. But if you have the A plus mindset, you will outwork and outlast the competition. Because this mindset isn't about instant results. It's about long-term commitment to growth, learning, and resilience. And guess what? Life rewards consistency more than brilliance. 4. Mistakes are lessons, not labels. People with the A plus mindset don't fear failure. They study it. They treat setbacks like a coach, not a curse. When things go wrong, they don't ask, why me? They ask, what is this teaching me? The grade doesn't define you, the growth does, and this is where so many get stuck. They think a bad result means they're not good enough. No, a failure is not your identity. It's just feedback. Use it, learn from it, grow through it, because the A plus mindset is never about being perfect. It's about being progress-focused. Every mistake is just part of the upgrade. 5. Live like you're always being graded by your character in the real world. No one hands out report cards. But make no mistake, you are always being graded. By your integrity, by your work ethic, by how you treat people, by how you show up when things get hard. The A plus mindset means your character is your curriculum. You live with values, you show up with class, you work with excellence, not for approval, but because that's your identity. And when you do that, when your character speaks louder than your resume, you become unstoppable. Final words, you are the standard. Let's stop chasing grades and start becoming the grade. Let's stop living for recognition and start living for impact. The A plus mindset isn't for a test, it's for your life. So show up today with full intensity, put in the work, lead yourself first, and remember, you don't need a teacher to give you an A plus when you give it to yourself every single day. You don't just get a plus. You live it, you breathe it, you become it. That's the real definition of excellence. That's the A plus mindset, and it's yours if you choose it. Effort over outcome. Show up like it matters. Why relentless effort is more valuable than results. Let's talk about something the world doesn't always applaud, but life always rewards: effort. We live in a results-driven world. A world that glorifies trophies, titles, and success stories, but rarely shows what it took to get there. We scroll past the struggle and celebrate the outcome. But here's the truth: outcomes don't happen without effort. And more importantly, effort is something you control every single day. One, effort is who you are. Results are just a snapshot. Results are moments. Effort is a lifestyle. Outcomes are based on circumstances, timing, and sometimes even luck. But effort, that's your choice, your commitment, your character. Anyone can look good in a moment of victory, but not everyone can show up early, stay late, and keep going when no one's clapping. That's the difference. Effort is who you are when the lights are off. It's how you train when no one's watching. It's how you speak to yourself after a loss. The scoreboard may not reflect your heart, but your effort always does. 2. Success doesn't guarantee growth. Effort does. People often think success is the goal, but here's what most don't realize: you can win and still stay the same. You can get the outcome you wanted and still not grow, still not stretch, still not change. But you can't give your full effort and stay unchanged. Why? Because every time you give all you've got, you expand your capacity, you get stronger, you become someone who's ready for more. Effort pushes you past comfort. Effort shapes character. Effort develops discipline, hunger, resilience, and these are the traits success is built on. So if you're growing, you're already winning, even if the scoreboard doesn't say so yet. 3. You're not always in control of the outcome, but you're always in control of your effort. You can study hard and still fail the test. You can train for months and still lose the match. You can build the best product and still not close the sale. That's life. The outcome is never guaranteed, but the effort, that's your responsibility. The world might throw uncertainty your way, people might doubt you, obstacles might slow you down, but the effort you give, that's always in your hands. And when you learn to show up with your best, regardless of what you get in return, you become unstoppable, because nothing external can take away your internal fire. 4. Show up like it matters, because it does. Here's what separates the great from the average. The great ones show up fully, even when no one's watching, even when it's hard, even when they're tired. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on perfect conditions. They understand that every rep, every word, every step matters. And when you show up like it matters, you start to carry yourself differently. You speak with purpose. You act with intention. You hustle with heart. When you treat the small moments like they matter, the big moments take care of themselves. Because the truth is, how you do anything is how you do everything. 5. Fall in love with the process, not just the prize. Too many people quit because they didn't get the result fast enough. But that's the wrong focus. The goal isn't just to win. The goal is to grow, to evolve, to become. And the only way you become better is through relentless, consistent effort. When you fall in love with the grind, with the early mornings, the late nights, the setbacks, the self-talk, the work, that's when you've already won. Because you're building something results can't take away. A mindset, a work ethic, a legacy. Let the world chase quick wins. You chase mastery. You chase growth. You chase effort. Because the prize may fade, but the person you become, that stays forever. Final words: effort is never wasted. You may not always get the outcome you want, but if you gave it your all, you didn't fail. You built discipline. You learned. You grew. You became. Don't let results define your worth. Let effort define your identity. So keep showing up. Keep giving your best, not for a trophy, not for applause, not for validation. Do it because excellence is who you are. Do it because you don't know how to quit. Do it because you've got something to prove, not to the world, but to yourself. Effort over outcome always, because when you keep showing up like it matters, one day you'll look back and realize it did. And so did you. Raise your standards. Destroy your excuses. The uncompromising path to personal greatness. Let's get straight to the truth. If you want to live a life that's powerful, purposeful, and unshakable, you must do two things: raise your standards and destroy your excuses. Every breakthrough begins with one brutal, honest decision. I'm done living below my potential. Excuses are easy, standards are hard, but standards change lives. Excuses just delay them. You weren't born to be average. You weren't built to settle. You were created to rise, to lead, to build, to overcome. But none of that happens if you keep giving yourself a way out. The day you stop negotiating with your excuses is the day your transformation begins. 1. Your standards define your identity. Your standards are the baseline for how you live. They shape how you show up in the world, how you work, how you talk, how you treat people, and how you treat yourself. If you settle for average, you'll get average. If you tolerate laziness, procrastination, or negative thinking, it will grow and take over your life. But if you raise the bar mentally, physically, spiritually, everything around you starts to shift. Because life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you tolerate. You want more, then demand more. From yourself first. 2. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Excuses sound like, I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. This is just how I am. I don't have the time. But here's the truth. Your excuses are defending your limitations. They keep you safe, small, and stuck. They wrap you in comfort while robbing you of growth. And every time you choose an excuse over your goal, you tell your future you don't matter enough. Yes, you're busy. Yes, life's hard. But guess what? No one's coming to save you. Either you rise or you rot. Either you fight for your future or you surrender to your excuses. 3. Standards are built, not inherited. No one is born with high standards. You build them through decisions, discipline, and relentless repetition. You want to be mentally strong. Stop consuming weak thoughts. You want a powerful body. Raise your standard for how you train and what you eat. You want to lead, then raise the bar on your integrity, consistency, and energy. Raising your standards isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's not about impressing others. It's about respecting yourself. You can't expect elite results while living with low effort. You rise to the level of your standards and fall to the level of your excuses. 4. There is no growth without sacrifice. When you raise your standards, something has to go. Your comfort zone. Your bad habits, your victim mindset, the people who drain your energy. You can't become a better version of yourself and keep clinging to the old one. You have to make room for greatness. You have to choose discipline over distraction. You have to choose effort over ease, because let me tell you, there is no elevation without separation. You must separate from the habits that keep you low to rise to the life you were built for. And that takes courage, but it also gives power. 5. Raise your standards in silence. Let results speak loud. Don't talk about it. Be about it. You don't have to announce your standards to the world. Just let your results, your energy, your habits, your consistency speak for you. Let your early mornings, your late nights, your resilience, your grind tell the story. When you raise your standards, you naturally rise above the noise. You no longer need validation. You no longer chase motivation. You operate with conviction. That's when you stop surviving and start dominating. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. Final words: burn the excuses, build the standard. You can either protect your excuses or protect your potential. You can either stay comfortable or become capable. You can either keep talking or start transforming. This is your wake-up call. This is your line in the sand. This is your moment to say, I will no longer live beneath what I'm capable of. I will raise my standards. I will stop explaining. I will start executing. It's time to live like your future depends on it, because it does. No more delays, no more distractions, no more defense of mediocrity. Raise your standards, destroy your excuses, and become everything they said you couldn't. Discipline, your greatest competitive edge, silencing distractions through focus and commitment. There's a lot of noise in the world. Everyone's chasing something: fame, money, likes, attention. But while most people are distracted, chasing the next shiny thing, the few who win long-term have one thing in common: discipline, not motivation. Not talent, not luck. Discipline, that's the real edge. That's what separates the talkers from the doers. It's not what you feel like doing. It's what you do regardless of how you feel. If you want to rise above average, if you want to outperform your past, if you want to become unstoppable, you must understand this. Discipline is your weapon. 1. Discipline is doing it even when you don't feel like it. Let's be honest. Motivation is fragile. It's here today, gone tomorrow. It depends on mood, weather, energy, and emotion. But discipline is consistent. It doesn't care if you're tired, stressed, or bored. Discipline says, I show up no matter what. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to be committed. Want a strong body? Train when you're tired. Want a sharp mind? Read when you'd rather scroll. Want a strong business? Work when it's uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, how you feel doesn't change what needs to be done. Discipline silences your excuses. Discipline builds your identity. Discipline earns your results. 2. Focus is a superpower in a world addicted to distraction. Discipline is what keeps you locked in when the world is pulling you in 1,000 directions. Everywhere you look, there's noise, social media, entertainment, gossip, opinions. Most people are drowning in distractions. They start things they never finish. They talk more than they execute. They chase quick highs instead of building long-term wins. But disciplined people, they do deep work in a shallow world. They focus while others scroll. They plan while others party. They grind while others sleep. That's why they rise. That's why they win. If you can control your focus, you control your future. Because what you focus on grows and what you ignore dies. 3. Discipline builds the life you say you want. Everyone says they want success. Everyone says they want to level up, to become great, to change their life. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't have the discipline to live it, then stop claiming you want it. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. It's what takes dreams off the vision board and turns them into results. You can't wish your way to greatness. You can't talk your way to success. You work your way there. 1 disciplined hour a day, every day, will outwork 10 hours of inconsistent effort, because discipline compounds. It stacks, it builds, slowly, then suddenly, your life today is a reflection of your past disciplines, or your lack of them. 4. Discipline is freedom, not restriction. People think discipline is boring, that it limits your freedom, that it makes life dull. They couldn't be more wrong. Discipline gives you more freedom than anything else ever will. Discipline with money equals freedom from debt. Discipline with health equals freedom from disease. Discipline with time equals freedom from chaos. Discipline in mindset equals freedom from fear. The undisciplined are always reacting, always overwhelmed, always behind, but the disciplined, they are in control. They don't live by default, they live by design. Discipline lets you walk into a room with quiet confidence because you know. You put in the work when no one was watching. 5. Commitment is the fuel that keeps discipline alive. Discipline without commitment is temporary. You need a why strong enough to silence the distractions, a purpose deep enough to say no to the noise, because the world will give you 1,000 reasons to quit, to slow down, to skip the work. But when you're committed, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop needing permission. You stop waiting for the right time. Commitment means showing up whether it's raining or shining, whether you're winning or struggling, whether you feel like it or not. And the more you stay committed, the stronger your discipline becomes. And the stronger your discipline, the more unstoppable you become. Final words. Make discipline your identity. Discipline is not a tool. It's not a hack. It's not something you use when you feel good. Discipline is who you become. It's the voice inside that says, I said I'd do it, so I will. I'm tired, but I'll push through. I could make an excuse, but I won't. I'm not average. I live above the line. So if you want the edge, if you want the advantage, if you want to win, don't chase motivation. Don't wait for inspiration. Build discipline, live discipline, be disciplined, because that's what greatness is made of. That's what legacy is built on. And that's what will separate you from everyone else. Stay humble, Stay hungry. There's always another level, the secret to lifelong growth and greatness. Let's talk about two traits that rarely make headlines, but always create legends: humility and hunger. We live in a world that celebrates loud success. People post their wins, their highlight reels, their trophies. But true greatness doesn't scream, it works in silence, builds in private, and keeps climbing even when it's already on top. Because here's the truth most forget: there's always another level. No matter how good you are, how far you've come, or how much you've done, there's more in you, and the only way to keep rising is to stay humble and stay hungry. 1. Humility keeps you grounded. Hunger keeps you going. Success can trick you. It can whisper, "You've made it." It can lull you into comfort, into complacency, into thinking, "I've done enough." That's why you need humility, to remind you that you're not bigger than the mission. And you need hunger to remind you that you're not done yet. Humility says, "I can always learn." Hunger says, "I want to grow." The combination of both is powerful. Humility keeps your ego in check. Hunger keeps your fire alive. One without the other is dangerous. Humility without hunger leads to stagnation. Hunger without humility leads to arrogance. But together, they create an unstoppable force. 2. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is a trap. It feels good, but it kills progress. It whispers, "You've done enough, relax." But hunger refuses to settle. Staying hungry means you're never satisfied with yesterday's win. You celebrate it, but then you get back to work. Because you know that champions don't coast on old victories. Leaders don't stop learning. Legends don't retire from growth. Look at the best in any field: athletes, creators, entrepreneurs, leaders. The ones who last, the ones who dominate for years, are never the ones who stop pushing. They're the ones who say, "What's next? How can I be better than I was yesterday?" That's the hunger. That's the mindset of someone who understands that growth is a lifetime mission. 3. Your ego is not your edge. Your work ethic is. Too many people let success inflate their ego. They start talking more than they execute. They stop listening. They stop learning. They start believing the hype. And that's when they fall. But the real greats, they stay students. They don't walk into a room trying to prove they're the smartest. They walk in ready to learn, absorb, and evolve. That's humility. And when paired with hunger, it turns into greatness. Because you can't grow if you think you already know it all. And you won't grow if you're no longer willing to do the hard work. 4. There's always someone better. And that's a gift. Staying humble means acknowledging that you're not the best. And that's okay. Because it gives you something to chase. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you moving when you realize someone is outworking you, outlearning you, outperforming you. It's not a threat, it's fuel. It pushes you to raise your level. You don't compare yourself to be discouraged. You compare yourself to be inspired. Because at every stage of your journey, there's always another level of focus, another level of discipline, another level of excellence. You haven't arrived, you're just getting started. 5. Let your success speak. You stay quiet and work. The louder you get about your success, the easier it is to stop doing what got you there. Don't let pride replace progress. Don't let applause become your drug. When you stay humble, you stay focused. When you stay hungry, you stay dangerous. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Let your results speak, energy speak, consistency speak. You just keep showing up, keep sharpening your craft, keep stretching your limits, because you're not chasing praise, you're chasing purpose. The climb never ends, no matter how far you've come, how much you've accomplished, how high you've climbed. There's always another level. And that's what makes life beautiful. There's always more to become, more to give, more to build, more to learn. But the only way you'll get there is if you stay grounded and stay hungry. So stay humble, because you're not above learning. And stay hungry, because you're not done yet. That's the mindset of champions. That's the heart of a true leader. That's the edge that keeps you climbing long after others have stopped. Stay humble, stay hungry. Because the next level is calling, and it's waiting for the one who refuses to settle.